Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I have with me Elmer Yuen, and he's going to share his thoughts on what he thinks Wang Yi, the foreign minister of China, is in New Delhi for. A lot of things have been discussed. The interesting part about this visit is Wang Yi went to Islamabad and dissed India there in the Organization of Islamic Countries. From there, he flew to Afghanistan, and then from there, he has come to New Delhi. And next stop for him is Nepal. Perhaps before he goes back, we don't know what other stops he has. So we'll invite our guest Elmer and have him weigh in on what he thinks is happening and why India is not keeping or putting its own interests ahead of everything else, Elmer.
Oh, I honestly don't understand your non-alliance. I mean, it sounds very good. It sounds really good. You don't ally with anybody. But, at the end of the day, what is the right thing to do? What is the right thing to do? And also, what is good for India? That is the bottom line. I mean, this non-alliance, this and that. I mean, it's just a very superficial phase. In the old days, when people hear about it, it sounds very smart, very clever. But is it really clever? The business between Russia, I mean, Wang Yi came all the way to here, is working with Russia to get you to be their company on their side. And if once you are on their side, even slightly on their side, you have pissed off all the free nations, all the Western free nations, even including Japan. Now, the thing is it really good for India in long term and in short term? Really don't think so. I really don't think so. The business between not in the China is doing huge business with Russia. China may be Russia's only way out to survival because with all these sanctions, China would be the only one buying their goods and on barter, or they can make it sound if like ruble and RMB are swapping, but it's really basically a barter business. So Russia will be at the mercy of China, and you keep on, you know, you keep on supporting Russia. It's something I really don't understand. And what really Wang Yi is definitely with Russia. They are like this. There's no question. We from inside China we know. And now they want you to join their group because in the UN voting, you sided with them. All right, you sided with Russia, and then now you're buying a lot of oil, discounted oil from Russia. It's a terrible thing to do because U.S. is determined really to break up. That's the right word to use. Not only take down Putin, but to break up the Russia Federation, because
So,
they don't want the Russian Federation later on to dominate in the energy business. They are huge in energy, so they need to break it up. So it's not going to be one state, and and we need to. I mean, the business with between Russia and China, basically China, Russia. I would say that before they break up, they would become like a vassal state of China. That's what's going to be. And you need to know who is your enemy. Your enemy is China. Wang Yi came right now is going to offer you all kinds of goodies to, and then even apologize for the border problems. He would do anything to get you on their side because right now they are very, very weak. Russia and China together, they need more weight. Now, of course, obviously, the other countries that he's visiting, it doesn't matter. You are the only one that counts. You carry enough weight to be counted. So this is what they want to do is they want to gang up against the free world. But there's no question right now, Russia is basically finished, and they are going to depend on China economically for everything. So now, really, China is afraid to be isolated. China is on its own against the free world. Now they need somebody to be on their side. So they come to India. If you really start to be on their side, then unfortunately, you will never get the best so-called cooperation or support from the Western state. What if you want a chip factory? Would they trust you? that you are not going to make the chip and then send it to China and then send it to Russia. Nobody would trust you. This is the problem. There is no such thing as neutral. Neutral means you get attacked from both sides. In history, there's no such thing as neutral. It's a joke. Whoever says that is elementary. Kids talking. I mean, grown up, either you're with the right people or with the wrong people. Sorry.
Yeah, so two arguments placed in opposition to what you just observed, Elmer. One is that I read somewhere that Russia has now said that it will accept rubles for their energy from Europe. So sanctions may have been placed, but how will Europe get its rubles? It has to come back to Russia's central bank to get rubles. So that's the first question. I'll ask you the next question after you respond to this.
Yes, I mean, very clever. Of course, it's a very clever move. Those countries getting a discounted price on the oil, getting those oil, they will have to give their foreign currency to the Russian exchange and exchange for ruble, and then pay them in ruble. Basically, they are forcing everybody who you want to buy my oil, you have to accept ruble as a currency, as a hard currency. Because right now ruble has no way out. It's a very clever for him to shoot two birds with one stone, but doesn't really mean anything. The important thing, I think, the whole West is within 2 years, they can basically get the whole free world to live without Russian energy. It's not that tough. It's not that tough. If U.S. work hard and all the other Middle East and the OPEC decided to lift their quotas, it's not that hard. Within 2 years, the Western will by then, if you continue to buy the Russian oil with China, then you'll be in a different camp. You will be in that camp. The camp is, do you do business with Russia? And pretty soon, U.S. is going to cut off doing business with China. It sounds like almost impossible, but it could be done. It's not that hard. What they are buying from China is not that essential. Socks and shoes, T-shirts. I mean, it's not. You can buy more expensive ones or buy from elsewhere. So what they buy from China is not that essential. I think within 2 years, now they must be talking about total decoupling of between the free world and China. Russia, of course, including their energy. This is being formulated. The problem is Putin have threatened to use nuclear. That is the thing he should never have said it. Because once you threaten with nuclear, they have to get rid of you once and for all. And let me tell you, within weeks, you're going to hear China talking about the same thing, hinting about using nuclear. Once these two countries hints about nuclear, the West have to get rid of them. You cannot allow to let these people survive, let these countries survive in the free world. Otherwise, everybody's in danger. And if India start to join them or side with them, it's a terrible situation, because now it's far more than economics. They don't care. Look at these Western companies leaving Russia. They lose huge amount of money. Now security is more important than money. And same thing is going to apply to all their investment in China. Pretty soon they're going to leave, and then leave all the money behind, because for them the security comes first. And India,
No.
how can they trust you if they will have to worry about their security with India?
Now, the other question that people ask me is, you say that 5 generals have died, Russian generals have died fighting in Ukraine. Can you name them? And I don't know. I haven't seen the names being published. How reliable do you think that information is? I've seen it in many sites, not just from you.
I think the Russians have published their names. I just heard it a few hours ago on my way from the airport. The Russian public, altogether high military ranking officials, 20 of them died. Altogether 20. They really don't have a command left. And one of their vehicles, the mobile command center, communication center, the soldier basically gave it away to the Ukrainian. And this is all in the video. please, this is a very strange war. It's not like a traditional war where you have two fronts and then the reporters can get information from both sides. Basically, the Ukraine are shutting up. You have never seen one picture of any officials or soldiers or generals of a Ukrainian military. Never. They kept it like a guerrilla warfare. You don't know where they are, who they are, no facial recognition, nothing. That's why the report, and you don't even know where these little battles, where did they take place. They wouldn't let you know, because if they let you know where the secret is. So afterwards, after many days after they shot down the tanks or the helicopter, then they give you the video. So it's something that nobody has proof. But on the other hand, why should the Russian threaten to use a nuclear weapon and then import soldiers from Syria and then ask China to supply them with some basic, even food rations? They are losing their shirt. Whoever is arguing the otherwise, Putin used to be my hero too. Russia is a very difficult country to rule. He managed. But the minute he stepped into Ukraine, that's his own problem. It's basically a suicidal move. He's finished. The whole
So,
the whole Russian economy is finished.
so last observation, Elmer, and you can agree with me or not. Viewers, I want you to understand this. If Russia occupied one city, in that city hall, they would have flown their flag. I can distinguish a Ukrainian flag. I can distinguish a Russian flag. I'm yet to see a single city hall in any city in any city in Ukraine where the Russian flag is flying. Forget about optics. This is simple. This is how people will claim victory. This has been done for thousands of years. Have you seen any Ukrainian city flying the Russian flag?
Siri, I just realized, even without, you have open internet and everything, you have audience doubting whether the Russians are winning or losing. Everybody in the whole world knows. Even now, you should at least listen to the U.S. Department of Defense. He is talking about how many people died, and how many people wounded. That represent the whether they're winning or losing a war. How many Russian? They said it very conservatively: 7,000 to 14,000 died, and 40,000 are out of action. How can that be a winning a war or getting any city? Meaningless. Meaningless, totally meaningless. It's finished. And if they do not withdraw, it will be a total loss. It will be a total loss. We know the situation very well. I have friends in Russia. I have companies in Russia. And then we have the Hong Kong people and the Chinese people. We are very serious about the war because we know indirectly it's going to affect China, and that is going to affect Hong Kong. We are paying 18 hours a day watching that war. And trust me, it's finished. The war is finished. And if he does not, he's looking for a step down to try to have a ceasefire. But now Zelensky does not want to have a ceasefire. They want victory. There are people who want revenge. Those people are not pacifists. You have killed so many civilians. You're going to pay for it. And then they're going to use all that money Russia have frozen outside, to pay for their war reparation. It's going to happen. These guys are not like us, I don't know about you, but Chinese, sometimes we forget about reparation. How much life and money we lost under the Japanese thing. We just let them get away with it. Zero. We got zero. We forgive them for war reparation. But